Hey, everybody. Welcome back. It's the Tesla Life, episode 17. My name is Russell Frost. I am your host. This is we're doing this on August 16, 2017. You haven't seen us in a couple of weeks. If you were waiting eagerly for our return, thank you. We were waiting eagerly to do another show, and here we are. Mr. Mark Coughlin is not with us this week. He is away on business, but luckily for me, my wingman, the man I can always count on to have my back most of the time.
You might want to just stop while you're ahead.
Tony Schaefer, everybody.
Hey, glad to be back. Glad to be here. Yeah, that's it. I was one that was constantly checking my podcast catcher to see if a new show had been recorded, which you think I'd know, but it didn't stop me from checking.
You know, it's yeah, we didn't do any shows for the last 2 weeks, Tony. I'm sorry. Did I not send you that email? I feel so bad now.
I sat here and I waited.
What a jerk I am.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, hopefully everyone else knew that, yeah, we took a couple of weeks off. I relocated from Florida to California. So now I am broadcasting from the Pacific time zone, where it is a mere 4 p.m. Normally we do this show at 7 p.m. Eastern, and we still do this show at 7 p.m. Eastern, except I'm not in the Eastern anymore. So there's light. This is what the sun looks like at 4.
Are you going to start reporting all your times on Pacific time now?
That's awful, isn't it?
It took me years to convert Eastern to Central. Now I have to do Pacific, which is like 2 behind. I get so confused.
We'll keep it Eastern. What the heck, right? Or maybe I'll be a little more like time zone diversity friendly. I'm not even going to go there. It's not been that kind of week. Hey, so everyone, thank you so much for sticking with us. We are looking forward to talking about the news that we have. So why don't we get right down to it, as they say. On Electrek this week, there was a story, which I'm sure most of you have seen already, but for those of you who haven't, interesting story that says, and I quote the headline, quote, Tesla salespeople are telling Model 3 reservation holders that the $7,500 federal tax credit runs out in 2017, which it does not. I should say, it does not run out in 2017. However, what that means is that the Tesla salespeople are figuring that they're going to deliver enough Model 3s this year to use up that tax credit for Tesla, and it will be gone.
Is that possible? Are they just over? That seems just overly optimistic to me.
Well, it's an interesting sales strategy when you think about it, because number one, what that's going to do is everyone who's not getting their car until 2018 is probably pissed off.
Yeah.
And that's, you would think at the back end, that's going to lead to a lot of people dropping and considering other vehicles. I mean, $7,500 isn't again, we're talking about, how do we say it? A budget car in a, this is a mainstream car. It's hardly entry-level priced at 35 grand, but
right.
We're talking about a vehicle that, where there's $7,500 means something. If you're talking about a $90,000 car, $7,500 is still serious money, but it's not, whatever. It's less than 10%. Obviously it's a much higher percentage of 35,000, and I won't stretch my math skills figuring out what that percentage is.
Yeah, I pulled up an image here from the Electrek article, and so you can see that you have color and wheels, autopilot, and the third one is your payment. And whatever they added, they came up with a $59,500 car. And that's excluding sales tax. Price including savings, $46,916. So they're counting on $13,000 in savings right here.
That's a lot.
Yes.
That's cool. That's figured for. Now I think that might actually be. I have to look. Oh, maybe not. I was looking to see if this was from the Imager story that's later on, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how they're figuring it. And I get it. Like, in a sense, though, it's responsible at some level for Tesla salespeople to say, hey, you know what, if you're coming in right now and ordering, um, you may not get the credit. That said, people that are standing in line, I mean, they're playing the odds, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're hoping that when your car is delivered, you're going to get that tax credit.
Right. Hey, I'm scaring everybody here. I'm still presenting.
Are you? Well, you know what? I kind of like you being on the screen all the time, Tony. How's that?
Okay, better.
Thank you. So there you go.
Yeah, I do agree with you on the point of it could scare people away. There's already I think there was one article talking about people jumped on board because they wanted to be the first. They were the $35,000 Tesla. And then they realized, well, that was kind of like base. And if you want the longer battery and if you want these features, then, like the image in Electrek, it does become more of a $60,000 car. But hey, that's okay because you do get the incentives and the rebates. But then if the incentives and rebates aren't there, then you're on the hook for $60,000. And suddenly your $35,000 car before incentives became a $60,000 car.
Yeah. And again, this is misleading because that this assumes that Tesla's going to deliver 200,000 cars.
Yeah, right.
At the end of the year, which seems unlikely, almost as unlikely as Evan Fusco joining us mid-show.
That would never happen.
I can't even believe it.
Oh, I guess you didn't get my text. Sorry about that.
That's
I thought you might wait a couple of minutes for me. Sorry about that, guys.
I would have been happy to, but I turned the phone off during the show because I'm stupid. I don't know.
because it's rude to be texting the host of a show in the middle of the show.
I actually texted you before the show. So.
Dr. Evan Fusco.
Hey, sorry everybody. Computer rebooted last night and took me a while to get logged in. So here I am though.
Oh, a self-described Tesla. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we talking about?
Well, we're talking about the first story of the week, which is the idea that some Tesla salespeople, maybe a very specifically small group, have been telling Model 3 reservation holders that the federal tax credit of $7,500 is going to run out this year.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, again, this apparently was some advisors in Texas. It may not be limited to them, again, but this is the reporting. And Tony and I were just sort of discussing, it's almost self-defeating for Tesla. I mean, you don't necessarily really want to scare the people at the back end of the queue.
Yeah, I agree. And unfortunately, this is kind of a symptom of a company that really is still trying to find some traction and figure out what it's doing. It's moving so fast. It's got a lot of moving parts that don't necessarily communicate well with each other, and not everybody is necessarily on message. And this seems to be part of that. And I've got a good friend here, Phil, that often watches our podcast. That he's simultaneously reserved a second Model 3. Wow. And is simultaneously considering dropping both reservations because he just has so much uncertainty about Tesla as a company and whether they're going to have the support that he needs when he takes delivery of his cars. And yet he's got this passion to have them. He loves the car. He loves the machinery. He loves what Tesla is and represents. And yet there's still all these kind of question marks that leave him feeling insecure. And I can totally understand that.
Exactly.
Well, now, I just want to say, does this also seem indicative? I mean, do you guys think if someone is saying that it's going to run out this year, I mean, we've talked about this several times. It doesn't run out as soon as they hit 200,000. Right. It goes on to the next quarter, and then it phases. And so for somebody to be telling people that it's going to run out at the end of this year, I mean, one, really overstates their production volume, and two, proves that they don't truly understand how the incentive is structured. So do they really have any business telling people anything about this?
So let me cut to the chase here, Tony. What you're saying is that commission salespeople sometimes bend the facts to make sales.
Well, but even a Tesla person about their own car. I mean,
Well,
we've
but
always.
if they think it's going to incentivize people to buy a CPO or Model S so that they get the tax credit rather than waiting.
But I thought it was the whole company, and it wasn't vehicle specific.
No, it's not the whole company. It's groups or certain Tesla advisors have been sending out these emails. Tesla.
No. I'm sorry. I meant the incentive is everybody.
Yeah, but they're trying to drive sales today.
Oh,
got it. Steering people into, canceling or not making a Model 3 reservation and instead buying a Model S now so that they get the opportunity to have the incentive.
I got it. Slow on the uptake. Yeah.
Same emails are also claiming that the Model 3 and the Model S, they're the same price.
Of course because they are.
Model 3 is $59,000. You can get a Model S for $50,000, and you get the tax credit. Yada yada yada. I mean, it's how do I say it? It's just it's hungry salespeople.
If I was that desperate to get a Tesla right now, I mean, to be perfectly honest, I would go to Tesla Motors certified used vehicles, and I would buy a used 85 for under 40.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's stop beating this horse. I think it has passed. Another story from electric that I wanted to talk about, which is funny. Our friends at Mercedes-Benz, who have taken the name of another one of our shows, which you may be familiar with, What Drives Us. So I have a little axe to grind with them.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, our friends at Mercedes-Benz have long been big gas folks. They love making gas cars, and God love them for that. But they recently decided that they were going to make a bigger step, make a bigger footprint in the electric vehicle world. And they, oddly enough, went to Twitter to ask their followers if they would buy an electric Mercedes-Benz. And the response was, let's just say, over 400 responses. Most of them were positive about EVs. However, most of them were positive about Tesla EVs. And the responses here are hilarious. Most of them just saying that they've already bought Tesla. They have a reservation on a Tesla. They're waiting to get a Tesla. They would buy a Tesla. They would never buy a Mercedes-Benz EV. Why would they buy something from an unproven product?
Mm-hmm.
I just loved that. I'm sorry.
I for one would not buy an electric Mercedes if it looked like that.
Well, there's that, and I guess we could show you that. At the vehicle at the top of the article, I guess, is probably an electric prototype or something. But yeah, there it is. It's not bad. I mean,
I'd drive that.
Sure, let's see.
Why, Evan? Why?
It's kind of cool.
Okay.
Matrixy looking. That's why not?
Could that Mercedes-Benz logo be any larger?
Well, yeah, that's kind of stupid, but
yeah, exactly. I mean, it may as well just be plastered all over the vehicle, just like hundreds of them. Like a big windmill. I just, you know what?
Maybe it spins and regenerates energy to run the car.
Ooh, it's actually a turbine. I like it.
It's perpetual motion.
Perpetual motion EV.
The good, in a sense, though, the good thing about this, I hope the good thing is that Mercedes-Benz reached out to people on Twitter and social media and asked a question, and they got an answer they probably weren't hoping to get. They probably weren't expecting. They were expecting a lot of course I would buy an electric Mercedes-Benz. I've owned nothing but Mercedes-Benz for generations.
Right. The best or nothing.
Right. And instead what they got was that they're behind the ball, and a lot of people, maybe most of the people, would much rather have another company's products. Hopefully they take that information to heart and go, yeah, we're behind. We got to get our act together.
I hope. Yeah.
So
did you see on the bottom there was a guy, Robert De Gento, who created a word cloud of all 300 plus reactions to Mercedes questions. And what he came up with was 63 times people said already, 39 times people said Tesla, and 118 times people said Tesla Motors.
Yeah, I'll show the word cloud here. That's a little painful, isn't it?
Yeah.
again, I mean, this is direct information. You know what I mean? Like, this is something that Mercedes put out there, and consumers are reacting. It's certainly not filtered for potential Mercedes buyers or anything like that, but I think this has value, and I hope that Mercedes takes this stuff to heart and realizes that maybe they've dawdled too long and let somebody else steal the spotlight. That's like shows.
Right, and then there is also the chart that Electrek put up, which shows, I mean, not only just in electric vehicles, but in all large luxury sedans year to date, you know, even the internal combustion engines, which is what Mercedes has been doing for 100 years.
Right.
The Model S is still almost doubles them, if not doubles them.
And that's gotta hurt if you're Mercedes.
And they're asking about EVs, and their bread and butter is being outsold.
You know, I can't blame people for preferring a Model S over a Mercedes S-Class.
I mean, if you've got that much money to spend and you're going to buy a car, yeah, I'd buy a Tesla over a internal combustion engine of any manufacturer.
I wonder why they chose to put the Audi A8 on there instead of the 7.
Who can? I don't know, Evan.
Seems like there's a lot more of those that sell. Would have been, and I consider that a lot more direct comparison and styling and
rather than, what did you say, the
8? They had the A8, Audi A8,
right.
The A7. I think would be a little closer.
Oh, I don't even know Audi vehicles, to be honest.
Well, that's okay. Let's move on. This is something that's near and dear to my heart, because I did this with one of my cars, and I was shocked at what was underneath. So let's show this little window here. A Model 3 owner did something that took those fine Aero wheels, and understand that this is not actually what you're seeing here on this Aero wheel. This is not the alloy wheel. This is a plastic cover over an alloy wheel, and this plastic cover delivers a small, but nonetheless a marginal impact on the performance of the vehicle as far as range goes, because it helps the aerodynamics. I had a third-generation Prius, and it was the same thing. It had these kind of ugly plastic covers. I didn't like them. I'm sure people like the Aero wheels. I don't mean to hurt anyone's feelings who likes the Aero wheels, but this person popped off the plastic cover, and look what's underneath. That's not a bad looking wheel.
It's really not.
Yeah, that is really nice.
And that was, again, similar to my experience with the Prius. There was a really nice alloy wheel underneath that ugly plastic cover, which again, now, so I lost, I want to say that Toyota said like 1 or 2% at the time. I don't know what the difference is with the Tesla cover, but obviously covering these spokey wheels delivers some sort of, eliminates some small amount of drag as the vehicle's driving.
You know, it's interesting. Why not, you know, display it, deliver it, and sell it without the covers on? Put the covers in the back somewhere under a hatch and say, oh, by the way, if you're taking a long road trip and you need the extra efficiency, slap these things on. It'll buy you 1% more. You know, because, yeah, everyday driving, I'm leaving those butt ugly things off.
Yeah. I, on my 2004 Prius, which is, you know, not anywhere near the same, but yeah, I popped the plastic covers right off and never looked back.
Yeah. I just, and again, and Tony, I mean, if anybody here's a hypermiler, it's you. So you're willing to forego some small percentage of drag just because it looked so much better.
I thought so. Yeah.
I am too. I don't know, Evan. I mean, the logical next step for what you just suggested is, why doesn't Tesla sell them for $50 to people that want them?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now the only thing, maybe they made them intentionally ugly enough to try to drive sales to the 19s that look so much nicer because yeah, I think you got a picture there of that too. And those are gorgeous rims. And maybe that's what they're trying to do to increase.
Oh, is it the deep blue metallic one?
Yeah.
Let me show that here then. Dun, dun, dun.
So
and that vehicle here.
Yeah. So if you're clicking online and you got a choice between that or that ugly Aero rim and don't realize that there's a decent looking rim underneath there, it's kind of a no-brainer, man.
Yeah. First of all, shame on you for not even experimenting or checking.
Yeah. I mean, how many people take apart their car? You know what I mean? Like, who would think?
Right.
I used to tell
Most
people
don't.
to pull the plastic covers off, and they were like, "Why would you do that?"
Mm-hmm.
Well, because I was hoping something less ugly was underneath.
Yeah, I got to tell you, those aero rims, whatever, just the way they look, it almost seems like they're puffy, almost balloon-like,
They do.
marshmallowish. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, never let it be said I'm not critical of Tesla when they screw something up. That's heinous.
There we go. There's something most of us can agree on. We don't like those rims.
Yeah.
So our next story comes again from Electric, and an interesting business story. Tesla recently sold some bonds to raise some more money. They wanted to raise $1.5 billion for Model 3 production. And they did that. And in fact, they managed to oversubscribe by $300 million. They raised $1.8 billion instead of the $1.5 billion, which just is another like head shaking, like Tesla is so out of the mold of normal car companies. I mean, has anyone heard of a car company doing this?
Nope.
In their lifetime? Because I haven't.
Yeah, and somehow I missed it. I knew they were doing it, and then I didn't know when or where or how, and it happened, and I missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, why? Would you have bought some?
Hell yeah.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. This is hardly the Tesla cheerleading show, but of course we're all fans and we all want them to do well. And I mean, again, I think this just speaks to the unique nature of Tesla's product, of the way they're selling it, that people are this enthusiastic. People are willing to sink their cash into this.
Right. It is, you're right. Very unique. I mean, what kind of reception do you think you would hear if Ford, Chrysler, Mercedes, hey, we're looking to make an electric vehicle. Does anybody want to buy $1.5 billion worth of bonds?
Yeah, junk bonds for that matter.
Yeah.
But so the difference. I mean, people see Tesla on the up, right? They see the future and the potential and the growth and the inspiring leader and the cool new stuff. You hear, Chrysler is having to raise funds with junk bonds. You're like, they're in a death spiral and no way am I going to risk, right? I mean, this Tesla looks like a gamble that's pretty easy to take. Chrysler, not so much.
Even if you lose on Tesla, nobody's going to be like, oh, you're an idiot. You gamble on Chrysler and lose. People are going to be like, what the hell were you thinking?
Absolutely.
I mean, the only thing they have that sells is Jeep and some trucks. Not that that's bad, but it's a big company to make Jeep and trucks. So,
yeah.
So speaking of Tesla sales, the Tesla Model 3 configurator went online, and we have some screenshots from it that we want to share with you. Just to kind of discuss. Evan, since you have experience with this, maybe you could even I don't know if we're seeing anything different here or.
Yeah. And actually I haven't really looked through this a whole lot. This looks very, very familiar to pretty much everything else that we've seen. Reservation, long range. So this first screen you're showing here looks like the completed order premium.
This is
because it's got the premium upgrade and long range battery. Unless they're just making that a default, and then you got to get started. What's the next screen show? Maybe you have to uncheck.
Let's see. So the next screen here. This is just the order that they posted them in.
Yeah. So no, you can go yeah. So that it looks like they're defaulting you to the long range battery and premium upgrades, and then you got to go through. And if you don't want those, you got to uncheck them.
Not a big surprise that Tesla's adding 14 grand to the price of the.
You want these, right?
Right. I mean, and it's obvious in the next screen that you can unclick them, but
Right.
notice the line underneath it, and the important reason for this is required for first production.
Indeed.
Yeah.
You want to get your Model 3 early, you've got to cough up an extra 14.
And so it was the same thing with my Model S. If you wanted to get it early, you had to get the air suspension and instead of the fixed. And I didn't really have any desire for that, but I had a massive desire to get my car, and so I have air suspension. That's why I just left that little box clicked.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, that's not okay. So the next one, color and wheels. Black is included. The 18-inch Aero wheels are included. That's the base thing. Obviously, if you click one of the other things,
yeah, it's $1,000 more for any paint color other than black.
Was that was the Henry Ford model?
Yeah, that's Henry Ford. And the Air, I think it was say $1,500 for the upgraded 19-inch rims.
There you go. Reasonably cheap upgrades.
Yeah,
And
it's really not bad.
the delivery time, apparently, there's no September, November delivery. I guess. I don't
Well,
know.
they do the painting in house, and apparently have enough of the rims in stock.
Here. Okay, so
Pretty.
and here's there we go. So if you choose red, it's $1,000. Is that Razorback red, Evan?
Yeah, close enough for me.
Close
That's pretty.
So still September, November delivery.
That looks more like Hoosier red to me.
Oh, you had
Pretty sure.
You had to go there. Here it is with Midnight Silver Metallic.
That's not a bad looking color.
There is just not a bad color on that.
It's not. Yeah,
car.
I think that's the Danny Cooper color, isn't it? He's usually like a gray silver guy.
I don't know. Let's bring him on the show and ask.
Good luck with that.
Wow.
Here's Deep Blue Metallic.
Yeah,
That'll jump out at you too, on it.
yeah.
And then let's see, Pearl White Multicoat. Still $1,000.
Which I've seen the Tesla white that I really like, but with those wheels, it just doesn't do it for me.
Oh, it's awful, actually. It needs tinted windows and to get those wheel covers off.
Yeah.
And then the silver metallic again for $1,000.
Mhm.
Here we see the wheel upgrade that Evan accurately predicted. 19-inch wheels for another $1,500. So there you go.
Those are nice looking rims.
Yeah, it's not bad. I like the other ones just as well.
Yeah, without the covers. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get better or energy efficiency or fuel economy or whatever we want to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And scrolling down, it looks like it's just different colors here with the different
rims.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's autopilot. So we get past colors and wheels, and we get to autopilot. You get enhanced autopilot and full self-driving capability for an extra $8,000.
Yeah, and then $1,000 each more if you wait to add them later.
If you add them afterwards, and they can't add those at the dealer. So, Evan, is this?
They don't add them at the dealer. It's an auto upgrade. You can actually just while you're traveling, call and they'll turn it on for you. Yeah, it's over the air.
This is all software. It's unlocking software.
Yep, it's all like it. They all come equipped with the hardware.
So you call them up and you say, you know what, I'm tired. Can I just activate this?
Pretty much.
That's. I mean, you got to. There's got to be a lot of hackers out there thinking they could make $4,000 really easy by unlocking both of these things and selling something.
Probably.
Yeah.
Of course, then Tesla, it probably radios back to Tesla that, hey, this car is self-driving, but it doesn't seem to have any record of payment of that.
Well, and that brings up a whole nother thing. We have talked about the right to modify and what different car companies are doing to try to squash it, and what the law says.
Well, and is it modifying if you hack your car to get a feature that you didn't pay for?
Yeah.
I don't know, but they they equipped the car for it.
Right. You bought the hardware.
Yeah.
You just don't have the software that controls it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure they would have to come up with something like,
if you hacked Photoshop to get the latest and greatest upgrade from their software online, that would be illegal. I don't know.
If you full on bought the software and some of it was intentionally license restricted. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait. We'll have to wait a year or two when someone actually does it, and then
somebody's going to test it.
Right. Yeah, and it's different than buying software for your computer, because what you're buying is hardware that is software controlled and software limited.
Mm-hmm.
And you buy this hardware with the understanding that these features aren't unlocked unless you pay for them.
I bet there's something in your whatever they call it, the buyer's agreement, that says that you can't do that.
But is that a modification, or is that?
No, I'm saying for the software.
Right, but that's what I mean. That just because it's in an end user agreement doesn't mean that it's legal. You know, we've seen this with other software companies that have put, like 50-page EULAs together that no one reads. And it says that, we own your dog and your cat and we can come and hit you in the head. And then somebody actually reads the damn thing and litigates this, and the company has to go, okay, we take it back. I'm not defending this one way or the other. I'm going to be fascinated to see how Tesla handles this and if it happens.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to somebody trying it.
Yeah. So the next thing here, we have the premium interior, the standard interior. It doesn't give a price for the difference, interestingly enough.
Or even a radio button. How do you check one?
I don't know. I guess maybe it's in the next.
What was the premium?
It doesn't say. Premium interior, 12-way adjustable seats, audio system, tinted roof.
But wasn't the premium upgrade the thing on the top, the first? Yeah, that's the $5,000 premium upgrade.
Oh, at the beginning.
Oh, yeah. That is? Okay.
Premium upgrades, $5,000.
Yeah, go down one page. Wait, too far.
Down one page? Oh, yeah. Right. There it is.
Yeah, there it is. 12-way adjustable, and then it's got the view all premium upgrades. Clicky box. So.
Okay, and that goes down to this.
Yeah.
Okay,
so must be that is.
Yeah, that way you can decide what you want. Then payment. Then Tesla just wants money.
Mm-hmm. That's all.
You're required to cough up $2,500. It's non-refundable, folks, at this point, so that you can order your vehicle today.
60 grand. Boy.
Only $837 a month with 5,000 down and 72 months at 2.74 APR. Only 800. That's a mortgage payment in my world. Sorry, I'm the poor person here.
Yeah.
That's nice. What we got here? That looks like the final screen. Payment. Just basically payment summaries. What the car costs. What tax credits you might be applicable for. Oh, estimate.
Oh, and that $5 gas savings. Come on.
So hokey.
What?
Well, but clearly they weren't driving a Mirai when they came up with those gas savings.
Yeah.
Had to go there, didn't you? Had to go there.
Wow. So is there? I kept looking. I didn't see a field where you would enter the Social Security number of your firstborn son.
I don't think they're taking children for this car.
Oh, was that the Roadster? I'm just thinking.
Yeah, just the Roadster.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no kids.
Is that while they were staffing up the Gigafactory, but now they're running it.
They're done.
Full potential.
They've got enough Oompa-Loompas. They don't need any more. So, yeah. I heard Evan tried to trade in his boys on the cars.
Mm-hmm.
His daughter was apparently very happy because then she'd get a car.
Right.
True.
Yeah,
so is it true we're getting a Tesla? No, you're going to Tesla. There's a difference.
You're getting a Tesla. for the rest of your life.
Yes.
Sold into indentured servitude. Well, our final story this week, it comes to us again from Electrek. Interesting that someone has spotted a Model 3 equipped with a driver-facing camera for autopilot and Tesla network. And I have to admit, I don't know what the Tesla network is.
Does anybody?
Is some sort of autonomous ride-sharing network?
Oh, maybe that.
I guess I'm not really sure why that's important. It is this front-facing camera is important because one of the things that autonomous driving companies are working on is when you're looking at the road, and when thank you, Tony. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We'll present that to everyone. There you go. There's the front-facing camera positioning, a detailed shot of it, right there. And so the car knows when you're looking at the road and when you're looking down or looking off to the side. So it can adjust its autopilot for that fact, I guess.
Yeah. So I got another picture. Let me, I have to disable it and then come back. So here's another picture that they posted, and you can see how this guy is looking to the side, and like the computer has the dots and is tracking where he's looking. Kind of weird.
It's interesting software, and I mean, I guess that's not having been involved in autopilot software. I'm not sure why this is a critical part of that, but apparently it is, because everybody talks about these front-facing cameras that track the driver's actions. Usually their face, because facial recognition software is pretty well developed, and so it knows whether or not you're looking at the road or not. You would think that once you put it in autopilot mode, it's in autopilot mode, right?
Could this be one of the ways that I'm going to stop sharing here? Yeah. Could this be one of the ways that Tesla could be potentially preparing to sort of protect themselves? So, you know, we've already seen in the past where at times when the car feels that it's over, I don't want to say overwhelmed, but the car could tell the driver, you need to take control now. Like, would this be a way of Tesla saying, we had a camera on you and we can clearly tell that you weren't paying attention or ready to take control?
Well, and the article also points out that the camera doesn't just face the driver. The camera captures the whole cabin. So yeah, if they, you know, like if you're in the back seat doing the wild thing, Tesla's going to know.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
So
I have no idea what they're doing with it, but my guess would be that instead of the torque sensor on the steering wheel, or in addition to the torque sensor on the steering wheel, maybe it would act that way, that you'd have a certain number of seconds it would allow you to look away before it gave you some kind of reminder to take control.
Right. Or if it's an autonomous mode, to see if there are passengers in the vehicle.
Yeah.
Which
and the door's closed and they're buckled in, and
right. So then, boom, it goes, right? Because there's nobody to say, "Are you ready to go?"
Right.
Maybe the car's programmed to ask that and hear a response. But as you just said, Evan, I mean, it's a really good point in that it detects people. Seatbelts are buckled, the doors are closed. Okay, let's roll.
Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting, and this is going to be another one of those things where it'll be interesting to see what Tesla says about this, because this wasn't, like you said, it wasn't announced from Tesla. It was someone who looked at the rearview mirror and said, "Holy crap, there's a camera right there."
Yeah.
And so somewhere on Tesla's server is a picture of somebody looking at the rearview mirror and doing this.
Well, and how many people are going to put tape over it or something?
Oh, there's that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then what? Then does the car just not start?
Yeah, you know, that you could AI that too.
Right? Or maybe try and, you know, you pull the thing out and attach a little thing that says a video of an empty cabin all the time. That way the people at Tesla don't see you picking your nose or whatever it is you do while you're driving your car.
or you put it on a loop like they did in Speed, and in that way, the terrorist who's watching will never know unless that woman moves her purse.
There's always a purse mover, isn't there?
I know. God, sit still. How hard is that?
I mean, obviously, this raises potentially privacy concerns, but it doesn't. This is one of those statements that I'm going to make that, like, in 10 years, could really be like used to bludgeon me to death.
Bring it.
Seem like there's a huge value in Tesla collecting millions of hours of footage of people picking their noses and sucking their teeth and smoking joints and doing whatever it is that people do in cars that they may not necessarily want to be video recorded doing. It doesn't seem like that's something that Tesla would see any value in.
Right. It does seem like a black box recorder kind of thing that, maybe there's 30 seconds, a minute worth of storage. And then if it's not relevant, it's deleted.
Yeah, I really don't want to see the video of like the Tesla faces of death. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Never
right.
want to see that video.
No one does. Right.
Yeah. Oh no, there's lots of people that do. But
okay. Well,
not me.
No one I know does.
Yeah.
No one who I know that admits that they do.
I know a few people that are into that, but we're gonna
I
think that's all I got, gentlemen.
I got one more.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you'll present me.
I will present. Oh, that's
this is the feel good story of the week.
Thank you.
All right, let's roll.
Hey.
And I'm going to do some skipping because this is like an 8-minute video.
7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Whoa, smoke!
No!
Dun-dun.
Fire!
Look at that little thing. What a cute little rocket. Aw, that's wonderful.
Are you guys getting audio?
No.
Oh,
no.
Okay. Yeah, I'm hearing full audio. I have no idea if I can port it through. But
turn it up and see what your mic would grab. It's not.
Yeah. No, but
software, it's not going to port it.
But then I go deaf.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, so there's this, and I'm just going to kind of skip to. Here's a phallic rocket. So here we go. We have separation of the stage.
Wow. You dropped something.
Well, it's interesting on that first stage reentry. If you stay on that, it comes in kind of, I don't know, listing. I don't know, a yod, I guess, where it doesn't come in like bottom first or top first. It comes in sort of at an angle, and you kind of see the smoke going up on the side. You moved way ahead there.
Yeah, I moved ahead so that you can already see up here. There's your landing spot somewhere in here.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
I'm sure unless it has some way of stabilizing itself, it probably just falls at however it falls.
Well, no, it does. That's what the fins are. The grid fins there are for stabilization. So most of the speculation I've seen is that yaw was intentional, and they'll show a shot here in a second from, I don't know if it's ground based or aircraft based, but that you can see the way it's yawed coming in. There, right there. Watch it for a second there on the right.
Yeah, you can see that it's at an angle.
Yeah, there's a bit. It'll get better here in a second.
Pull up! Oh no!
Ah!
That's re-entry burn.
Yeah. Right.
You set speed, just go wow down.
How's it go again?
Well,
so I don't know if everybody can see that.
Oh yeah, I can
see how it's yawed and kind of smoke goes up the sides rather than the bottom.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating. This was probably the best first stage landing video we've seen, because the shot was clear on the two cameras all the way to the ground.
Yeah,
you see the smoke on the right on the left hand screen. That's the launch stream. They're the contrail or whatever you'd call it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. So now it's pretty much straight up and down at this point.
Yeah.
1,200 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watch how fast it goes to zero, man. It's just freaking insane.
It's only 3 kilometers high.
And it's decelerating. 2 kilometers.
Wow.
But still going 600 kilometers an hour.
Right.
Drop to the cloud.
And those little fins aim this thing.
Look at that.
Dead center freaking landing. It's absolutely sick. I mean, it's 200 kilometers an hour there.
Legs come out.
Wow.
And poof.
Damn.
It's just beautiful, man.
That noise, Evan? Poof.
I love it. It still gives me goosebumps, man. I watch every one of these I can. And then, so the Dragon successfully docked on the space station early this morning, which I've overslept and missed. But so it's a completely successful mission. It's been very good. And the latest news is that Falcon Heavy is expected to launch in November, and that's the next huge step for SpaceX.
Yeah. Reusable rockets are so wonderful. I mean, again, another huge thing. Tony, thank you for that. That was
I thought that was a good note to go out on. Another successful launch and land.
Well done, sir. Round of applause. Shout outs, Evan. You got anything this week?
Oh man, I got nothing. Just me.
Fair enough. Tony.
I'm just gonna give a shout out to our friend Mark Coughlin. So he's out. He's out and about. So yeah.
You had to go there, didn't you? You had to go there.
Of course I did. And of course, give a shout out to our fantastic theme music,
Mr. Lee Moon, who is generous enough to provide our weekly theme music. Thank you, Lee. Of course, we hope Mark has a safe trip, and we look forward to having him back next week on episode 18. You can, of course, find us on Twitter at The Tesla Life. Search The Tesla Life on Facebook and The Tesla Life 1 and The Tesla Life. Search it on YouTube, and you can subscribe to our channel. Automatically get updates on when we're broadcasting. But we're here every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. See, that's force to have it there.
Yeah. Okay.
And we look forward to having you join us. Tell a friend. Until next week, tune in and find out what's new and exciting in the Tesla life. We'll see you.